Flip to Freedom, episode number 75. Hello again, this is Sean Terry from the Flip to Freedom podcast, and we are on episode number 75. Now, if you are listening for the very first time, I'd like to welcome you and let you know that I have put this podcast together for you to help you escape the 9-to-5, or show you how to escape the 9-to-5, so you can be done with corporate America, be done with living month to month, be done with just getting by, be done with having to do things you don't want to do in a job atmosphere. You know, and we spend the majority of our time at work, either getting ready for work, commuting to work, sitting in the car, getting to work, and then we just spend the time either hustling around or looking at the clock, and we cannot wait till Friday. And so we can go out and actually do the things that we want to do. I can tell you right now, that's no way to live. There is a better way. Now, what I have tripped across back a handful of years ago when I was living in that mundane job of just getting by, and I knew I had more. I knew I wanted to accomplish more. I was searching for something. I didn't know what I was searching for. So my wife said, "Hey, you should become a real estate agent." And I was like, I don't want to be a real estate agent. I want to do my own deal. I don't want to work for clients or whatever. So I tripped across real estate investing, where you could flip houses, where you could get a property under contract for a specific price. Now, what's great about flipping houses and wholesaling houses, you don't have to have any cash or credit to do it. No one asks you for your social security number to apply for a loan. No, and you don't have to have any cash. Majority of the deals that I do, you don't have to have any earnest money deposit. You literally can sign a contract with a seller, and for a price, let's call it $50,000. Let's say the house is worth, all fixed up, $100,000. Well, you sign a contract with the seller for $50,000. Then once you now have equitable interest in the property, you have the ability to market the property. You can market it on Craigslist. You can market to buyers. You can market to, in the newspaper. You can do whatever you want. You can talk to realtors that might try to sell the property for you, whatever the case may be. And I show you in all the 74 different episodes in here. I teach exactly the step-by-step process. But you find a buyer, and the buyer comes in, and he signs a contract with you for $60,000. So what do you have? You have a contract with a seller for $50,000. You have a contract with a buyer for $60,000. Right? Now you take both those contracts to a title company and you instruct them to do either A, an assignment, or B, a double escrow, or what's called a simultaneous close. And then, guess what's going to happen? The buyer is going to wire in $60,000 plus closing costs to get the deal closed, because they're excited. They're getting a house at 40% off a market. House is worth $100,000. They get it for $60,000. That's a great deal for them. So they're going to be happy to wire in the funds, and they're going to be happy to do it quickly. Most of the deals for mine close within 7 days or less. I have a property that is on my website at Phoenix Wholesale Homes. I turned around and had it out this week, right, and sold it this week, and we're closing today. So it all happened within a week. So the amazing $10,000 deal. So the bottom line is that the buyer will wire in $60,000, of which $10,000 will go to you, and the $50,000 goes to the seller. Now, you could do this as many times as you want in a month. And you can do this 2 times, 5 times, 10 times. What if you do it 10 times? It's $100,000 a month flipping houses. Now, it's going to take work. It's going to take energy. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take some knowledge. And it's going to take a team of people to get it done. But you can easily do 1 or 2 deals around your current job. Now, the whole premise of this whole podcast and the whole program at the flip2freedom.com is to first, the number one step is to get your first check. And see, we're continuing a series right now. It's called the 4 Phases to Freedom series. And this is phase number 3, and it's actually going full time. You've already quit your job and now you're going full time. So let me recap and tell you what the phases were or are. Phase 1 is going out and getting your first check. And going out and implementing it around your job, doing what you're doing, and doing the right steps to go out and get your first check, your first $10,000. And we talk about how to go out and find that seller, how to go out and find that buyer, how to negotiate with the seller, how to get the contract, how to bring it to the title company, how to open up escrow on the property. Then we show you how to talk to the buyer, how to find the buyer, how to negotiate with the buyer, how to get the contract for the buyer, and how to bring those contracts to the title company. That's phase one. Phase one is going out and getting your first check. And I can tell you this. Once you go through the process, I know it's an unknown, and people are afraid of the unknown. I know I'm afraid of the unknown. My daughter anytime there's something unknown, she clams up, and I'm working with her and letting her know, say, listen, in everything that we do that is new in the life, guess what? It's an unknown. That's just the way it is. So if we can break through that unknown and have confidence that, guess what? The education helps us through the process to kind of alleviate that cloud of the unknown. Once you go through the process, you'll realize that, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And I can tell you this, you will not sleep because you're going to go, the possibilities. Now, I can tell you, the possibilities of real estate are endless. You can flip houses, make $10,000. You can flip commercial properties and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can flip land deals and make hundreds of thousands. You can flip $100 million deals. Depends how big you think. I mean, we just got a property tied up under contract, a 10-unit apartment complex. I'm not going to give you all the details on it because a lot of my buyers listen to this podcast, but I can tell you we got a smoking deal on it, and we're going to turn around and sell it. It could be a $100,000 deal, $75,000 deal, on a 10-unit apartment complex because we've negotiated, found the property, we know where to market, we teach you how to market, and we turn around and we talk to the seller and talk to the buyer, and we'll line up a buyer for the property because it makes sense. Half the battle is marketing to the right person, right? And then negotiating on a price that you know will make sense. Well, that's what we talk about in the 4 phases of freedom. In the phase 1, you can go back and listen to episode number 68. We go in detail on phase 1. And then you can listen to all the other episodes, talk about this entire procedure. Well, in episode number 73, we talk about what phase 2 is. Now, phase 2 is when you quit your job. Now, I don't tell anybody to quit their job until they have at least 1 year's worth of income in the bank, and that money has come from flipping houses. Not if they just have a 401k or if they just have cash in the bank or whatever. I'm saying is that it has to come from flipping houses. So, for an example, let's say you make $100,000 a year. Your goal is to get $100,000 of cash in the bank from flipping houses. That's goal number 2. Okay. Goal number 1, phase 1, is to go out and get your first check. Goal number 2, phase 2, is to go out and get 1 year's worth of income in the bank by flipping houses. Okay. Now, if you do 1 deal a month and you make $10,000, well, it's going to take you 10 months, right, to turn around and get $100,000 in the bank. That's a respectable goal to where you can go out and accomplish that and go out and shoot for that. Doing 1 deal a month is really not that hard around your job. So imagine now you have $100,000 of cash in the bank. Now, what has happened? During that process of the 10 months, you've gathered education. You went through the process. And actual going through the process is the best education you can possibly have. Once you go out and you talk to sellers and you talk to buyers, you're building your buyers list, you're understanding the process, you're closing on 10 different transactions. Now, it could be more. What if you average $5,000 a deal? Well, guess what? You're going to need more deals or more time before you're going to be able to feel comfortable to quit your job. Okay. Now, remember, quitting your job is an option. You don't have to do it. You can continue. Maybe you love your job. Okay. And then you just want to do this on the side to make extra money for retirement or for whatever. The bottom line is that you have the option to do that once you get 1 year's of cash in the bank. Now, this particular episode, we're going to talk about the point to where now you have 1 year's worth of income in the bank, right? And now it's that beautiful day, that epic day, where you walk in to your boss and you say, I'm done. I'm done. And you punch out, or you check out, or you get out for the last time. You walk in, you go to your desk, you grab your box of stuff or your cubicle or whatever you got, and it's it. You're done. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm getting goosebumps because that, my friends, is a very, very exciting day. Now, between the day you listen to this, or these podcasts, or listen to my podcast, you get education, until that day when you resign from your job, knowing that you have something you can go to and experience and cash in the bank and you go full time, there are going to be ups and downs during the process. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that get in your way. I can guarantee it. And see, if you have a viable vision that is an emotional vision or goal or something that is going to drive you through those obstacles, that's what we got to find. Now, it could be a vision of walking into your boss's office and handing him a 2-week notice and walking out the front door for the last time. That is what you want to picture in your mind, that emotional feeling of, I can't wait to do that. Okay? So that, because guess what? You will go through obstacles. For me to tell you that this is going to be simple, or it's going to be the easiest thing you've ever done, or it's a push button deal, and all you got to do is push a button and you're going to make millions of dollars, that would be wrong for me to tell you. I'd rather tell you straight up, because I'm going to tell you right now. If you don't like to work your butt off, or work harder than you've ever worked before, then this isn't for you. It's not for you. I just want to tell you that. If you just think you're going to come in and, I'm going to come in and I'm just going to, I'm just going to, I'm going to make $1 million. No. You're going to have to work your heart off. Work your heart out. I tell you that right now. Because I'd rather tell you that right now instead of give you a false hope or a false expectation. Because if you know you've got to work hard and you know you're going to hit obstacles, guess what? When they happen, you're going to go, okay, I knew they were coming. I'm going to have to figure out a way. I got to focus on my vision, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to push through it. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, getting rich in America is not easy. If it was, everybody would do it. And guess what? When you reach that goal of handing your pink slip or your slip to your boss, and you get to walk out for that, for that day, and you're done, ever having to go back to work again, that is an accomplishment that 97% of the Americans right now that are working Americans don't have that opportunity. You have that opportunity to make that happen. So, in this particular episode, we're going to talk about going full-time. What happens the next day? We're going to talk about what your day will look like. What does a typical day look like for a full-time wholesaler? We're going to talk about defining tasks that make you money, right? And then tasks that don't make you money. And then it becomes organizing those tasks to go out and outsource what doesn't make you money and focus on what does make you money. Okay? Now, if you want to get more from me, you can go to flip2freedom.com, flip2freedom.com, and you can download my book. There's actually a video of me on the front page, and there's a place you can put your email in. And what I'm going to do is if you put your email in there, you press Get Access Now, I will send you my book. And it's a 129-page comprehensive detailed blueprint on exactly how to quit your job in 19 weeks or less. It talks about this whole process, okay? The phases, this 19 weeks on exactly step by step. And I can tell you it's juicy, it's detailed, and I've had people tell me that they have spent well over $1,000 for the same information that I give away for free, okay? So you can get that at flip2freedom.com. Go to flip2freedom.com. I'd also like to recognize a gentleman who posted an actual review in iTunes. Now, currently have 102 5-star reviews in iTunes from this recording, and he submitted it on December 10th, and it says, "Undeserving one. Well, don't think you're undeserving, because everybody deserves to have great things. Everybody deserves to have, a lifestyle of, whatever they want. I mean, in this life, we're put here to go out and, obviously serve others and be the best we can possibly be, but also to reap the rewards of life. Now, if you're spiritual at all, if you believe in God, you realize that guess what? You're one of God's children. He put you down here, to go out and find your purpose, whatever that purpose might be, and go out and become the best you can be. So in his review, he says, such a motivator, 5 stars. He said, Sean is so energetic and motivating. I have been inspired to start on my road to financial freedom through the real estate investing and see the sky as the limit. Thanks for taking the time to put this awesome content. Keep on going. Yes, I'll keep on going and until all of you reach the 4 phases of freedom. Now, what's phase number 4? What are we going to talk about the next episode or the next time I put the phase out? 4 phases. We're going to talk about the phase 4 is where you go out and now you have what's called cash stick. Okay, you have cash flow. That's cash that comes in and cash that goes out, and you have cash flow, cash in, cash out. Right? Because you got bills and you got braces and you got tires and you got kids and you got stuff that comes up, right? So it's cash in, cash out. Now, the other thing is we have cash in and you have so much cash in that you have what's called cash stick. For an example, let's say your monthly expenses are $10,000 a month and you bring in $10,000, $11,000, $15,000 a month. Well, you have to have money to live on and stuff, but what about a month you bring in $50,000? Or you bring in a month of $70,000 in a month, and you still have the expenses, right, of $10,000, $12,000, $13,000. Well, guess what? That balance left over goes into a savings, and it's called cash stick. Now, with that cash stick, you have you can invest in properties that will return cash flow. Okay? Now, I advocate not to use your own credit, right, or cash. So what we're going to talk about in the 4 phases, in phase number 4, is how to structure a cash flow rental portfolio to where you have, whether it be 10 or 20 properties, that is paying you cash flow every single month using none of your own cash, none of your own credit, right? But still produces a passive income cash flow to cover your nut of, let's call it $10,000 a month. Now, imagine this. You got up and going, you quit your job, and now you have, let's say, 20 properties, and now you have these 20 properties that you're collecting rents every single month on. Now, it could be from rents, or it could even be from notes, where you don't have to actually manage the properties. But the bottom line is you have cash flow coming in every single month that will cover your nut. Okay, cover your $10,000 a month. Now, if that happens, how are you going to feel? Well, guess what? You don't have to work if you don't want to. Now, it can increase that. You might get an apartment complex, like a 10-unit or 15-unit apartment complex or whatever that fits the mold, that fits your criteria, and then you could turn around and keep that. And that one, 10-unit apartment complex could produce $2,500 to $3,000 a month cash flow. Who knows? It depends on the deal, but it will give you opportunities to go out and expand further, to go out and just increase your revenue. What about this? Right now, I'm looking for land opportunities in Phoenix right now because I've been through the process. I know how to rezone properties. I know how to change general plan amendments. I know how to deal with the city councils and stuff like that. And I have a team of civil engineers and attorneys and stuff like that to get properties rezoned and redone. Well, guess what? There are landowners out there that own blocks of land that don't want to pay taxes on it. What if I could negotiate a deal with them where we cut a deal, we can hold the property, right? And I can turn around and can get the property rezoned and maybe get a 10-year option on the property and then turn around and sell it between now and 10 years from now, and we could do some sort of profit split on the upside. Okay, I'll do the work, I'll get it rezoned, I'll lock in a price for 10 years, he carries the land, right? I do the engineering cost of it. We give him a credit for any taxes he's paid, and boom, guess what? Now down the road, maybe let's say 5 or 6 or 7 years from now, that land might be worth a lot more. What if I lock in a price for $1 million and it turns around and now it's worth, because I've rezoned it, I platted, I engineered it, I got it ready to go. Now the thing is worth $5 million. That happens. Okay? Now, guess what? give him $1 million plus, let's say, some upside of $500,000 or whatever, and I get to pocket the difference. You can do that on multiple deals if you'd like, and we'll talk about how to do that with your cash stick. Okay, so now let's get into how. Where I got that going full time, going full time. Now let's back up. You just went in, you gave your boss your final notice, and you're done for the day. So now it's the next day. Okay, let's say that was a Friday, and you woke up and you took the weekend off. You're right, and you woke up, and now it's Monday, and you don't have to wake up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to take a shower, stop at Starbucks, get in your car, and go and sit in it for an hour and a half commute. You don't have to do that. Right? You know, you're going to feel really awkward and out of your comfort zone. I can tell you that. You're going to feel like a fish out of water because you've had this routine for so many years that all of a sudden now you're going to be going, holy cow, now what do I do? Right? Because you've been working around your job, trying to hustle and find time to talk to sellers and talk to buyers and, market properties and do stuff. So now you're going to be waking up and you're going, whoa, you're probably still going to wake up at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, but now you're going to be twiddling your thumbs going, what the heck do I do? Okay. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about having a consistent plan. Okay. And I think when you go full time, the biggest thing is realize that there is consistency. You have to be consistent, number one. And number two, you have to hustle. You're definitely going to have to hustle. But number three is take time for yourself. When you become an entrepreneur, you tend, and this is my biggest struggle, because I love what I do. I love doing podcasts. I love talking to people. I love working with new people. I love flipping houses. I love talking to sellers. I love talking to buyers. So I love it. I love it. I love waking up in the morning. I love what I do. I love it's great. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So when you love something like that, it doesn't feel like work. Recording this podcast doesn't feel like work, because guess what? Maybe this can help you go out and go through the 4 phases of freedom and accomplish that freedom. And maybe I was just a little tiny integral part of you being able to spend more time with your family and going on that vacation that you never thought you could. Okay. So the bottom line is this: is that when you get in that element, you're going to feel like a fish out of water. You're going to feel different. So what you have to do is have an action plan. And the action plan is you consistently do things every single day, and you'll consistently get results. Now, what are some of the consistent things that we want to do to make sure that we are on track? Well, number one, we have to have a consistent marketing plan for sellers. Okay, we have to have consistent leads coming in for sellers. Now, what would be something like a consistent marketing plan? Well, it could be doing I do 2 mail drops a month. Okay, 2 mail drops a month to inheritance, probate, absentee investors, pre-foreclosures if you want, and you're targeting motivation. Okay, so you do a couple of mail drops a month. And we're also going to talk about goals. What type of goals? Like if you want to accomplish a certain result, you kind of re-engineer it backwards so you can go out and figure out exactly how much mail or direct mail or properties you have to do to achieve your goal. So having a consistent marketing plan for sellers, whether it be direct mail, having your pay-per-click advertising campaign set up on Google, MSN, and MSN Ad Center. Bidding on HUD homes, consistently bid on HUD homes, every day or every other day or every single day, which is not that difficult. And do consistent online marketing, consistent marketing for buyers. Right? That means going down to the courthouse steps, talking to buyers there, going to the ASREA meetings, or not ASREA, but the REIA meetings, and talking to buyers there, having a pay-per-click campaign online, talking to buyers there, or marketing for buyers, consistently posting 2 or 3 times a week on Craigslist Backpage and maybe eBay Classified. So we kind of break this down. We go, okay, listen, I've got a plan. What's the plan going to be? Well, I'm going to have my consistent marketing for sellers. That means I'm going to send out direct mail twice a month. I'm going to have my pay-per-click advertising campaigns cranking. Maybe I'll sign up for a program like zbuyer.com that will allow leads that come in. They can do the marketing. Maybe I'll have a consistent ad in the newspaper that's going to go out and generate leads that way. And if you do all that, you're going to get continued leads coming in. Now, when the leads come in, right? Then you can start evaluating these particular leads and talking to these different sellers and determining if they're motivated or not. Okay, and bidding on HUD homes, that obviously is something you do consistently every single day. So now, that's the thing. So now the bottom line is now you're going to have a consistent marketing plan for sellers, then a consistent marketing plan for buyers where you're continuously bringing buyers in every single month and meeting buyers. Okay, so your list of buyers is getting bigger and your opportunity for sellers is there. And what you'll find is you're going to create such a momentum that, 30, 60, 90, you're going to get leads coming in from everywhere. Another thing you can do consistently is is reach out and help as many other newer investors as you can. Okay, because what they can do is a lot of other investors don't have confidence in themselves to do the deals, so they want to have someone to lean on, someone to call, someone that can help them through the process. And I mean that's kind of how this whole Flip to Freedom Academy or Flip to Freedom podcast came together, because I was working with a lot of local bird dogs. Okay, and these local bird dogs are saying, well, how do you do this, and how do you market, and how does this happen, how does this work? So I said, well, I'll put a podcast together for my local people, and then they can share it, and I can build a bigger local following of people that I could help find deals. I get a big buyers list, and we can work together and split deals and split transactions. Well, that's kind of how the whole thing started. Well, as soon as you put something on iTunes, it blows up, and next thing you know, there's 50 million people all across the country that are listening to this thing, and then people wanted an online academy, so I started the Flip to Freedom Academy, and that's how it's kind of progressed. But the bottom line is that if you are giving of your information, you don't kind of protect it or hold anything back, you will get rewarded. I tell you that, because there's a gentleman by the name of Dustin, and I've done probably about 4 or 5 deals, and probably this year alone have done probably made about over $100,000 in profit. Maybe a little bit less than that, $75,000 of profit with Dustin, and he's a local bird dog. And he called me up. He was trying to sell a house, and this is before he knew me, but I was marketing. He found my marketing material. He called me up and said, hey, and I went over to the house. I looked at the house he was trying to sell. He had about 10 other people go through the house that were my competitors, and I was the only one that spent time and asked him questions about himself and what he's looking to do and what he's looking to accomplish, and I was willing to help him. I actually went through the comps with him on the property. I told him, I think you need to renegotiate with the seller and get it for this price, and I think we can sell it for this price, and why don't we just do a profit split on it? And he said fine. So he went back and renegotiated. I told him how to renegotiate with the seller. He went back and did that. He got the contract. I gave him the title company I work with, and he started working with Eileen. And then and next thing you know, now he's going, hey, what about this deal? And 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 we participated in a lot of different deals together because I was the one guy out of the 10 other people that he brought through the property that took a minute and spent time asking about himself and how I could help. Okay, so having a local bird dogs, that's another thing you can develop to get consistent leads in your business. And it's by giving away, obviously, your information, exactly the same thing I'm doing. Now, let's talk about, and also you're looking for co-wholesaling opportunities. You're going to have buyers that are looking for properties, right? You're going to find out what the buyers want. You're going to help them accomplish their goal by asking the right questions. And then if you don't particularly have the inventory, you might know someone else. So when you go to these RIA meetings, you want to meet all the other wholesalers and find out, number one, what they're selling properties for. And number two, if they have other opportunities, you can secure an option on the property property and then turn around and sell it to your buyer for a small fee. Now, you're not going to make a $50,000 deal off that, but you might make $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 doing it. So that becomes a consistent thing that you want to do. Consistent to go out and build campaigns, a buyer's campaign, a seller's campaign. Now, let's talk about what a typical day in the life looks like. A day of a full-time real estate wholesaler. Well, I can tell you it's different every day, and that's what's exciting about it. Because when you do this consistent marketing and you're talking to sellers and you're talking to buyers, opportunities will come up every single day. I mean, I look at properties, I look at opportunities every single day. And typically a day that happens is that leads will come in, you're going to be talking to sellers, you're going to find a seller that's hot, that's motivated, right? And my rule of thumb is if I got someone that's seriously motivated and I think it's a potentially great deal, I'm going to set an appointment as soon as humanly possible. As fast as humanly possible, I am going to set that appointment, and I'm going to meet them at the house, or I'm going to negotiate, do whatever I have to do if they're out of state, to go look at the property to try to get that sucker under contract. Okay? I am going to be on it as fast as I possibly can, because that's my business. The business is, getting properties tied up. And guess what? Opportunities, they might call you and they might not get a good feeling, whatever, and they might go turn around and call somebody else or Google somebody else and find someone else that's going to turn around and try to buy that property. So the bottom line is that how does this day look? Well, I typically wake up about 6:30 and I spend time and I reflect, and I actually, if you ever read this, I'm going to tell you what I read, but it's a book called, it's great. It's like a daily devotional. It's by Sarah Young. It's called Jesus Calling. And holy cow, that is it's amazing. It seems like every single day just nails me with something else that's going on in my life to make me a better person. So I usually read that and kind of reflect on that. It's a great book. You got to get it. So I kind of read that, reflect on that, and I spend time in silence and I pray. And then what I do is I plan out my day of what I'm going to accomplish, make sure I have everything I need to do and accomplish for the day, and just get refocused, regrounded, re-energized to know exactly specifically what I want to do and accomplish that day. And I'm going to talk about a goal session here coming up for the first of the year, but so basically what I do is I take everything I want to do. So I go through the day refreshed. I know specifically, I'm on target, what I want to accomplish. I've connected with God or source or whatever you want to call it. I've connected and I am grounded, and now I can go through my day 100% focused. So then by that time, all the kids wake up. I got two daughters, a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old. They get up and I'm getting them breakfast, getting them dressed, having a cup of coffee, get them ready for school, but I make my kids breakfast every single morning. I'm there every single morning for them, and they're off to school. And then typically from that time, I'll go to the gym. And there's a local country club around here where I live, and I'll go to the country club. And what I do then is I go on the elliptical or do some weights or whatever, run or whatever. And then there's they have tennis courts there. It's a tennis club, and they have a beautiful golf course. So what I do is I walk around. It's probably about a mile or a half a mile, one or two times around this loop at the country club. And especially this time of year here in Phoenix, because the clouds are just, bright and puffy. It's 60-something degrees out. It's chilly. It's crisp. And it's great. I love it because I'm from back east and I like the cold weather. So I'm sitting there walking, and again, what am I doing? I'm being grateful for life. Now, even if you're in a position where everything completely sucks, guess what? You can find something to be grateful for. I spent 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, and I went over to Saudi Arabia and to Kuwait, and I can tell you we have a lot to be grateful for. I've spent time over in Korea and Okinawa and Thailand and the Philippines, and I can tell you in the Philippines we have so much to be grateful for. I can tell you that right now. there was a river in the Philippines where kids would jump in for coins because some of the Marines would be flipping coins over the thing, and they called it S River, Poop River. It was disgusting, just for money. And the lifestyle that, I've been to Mexico City, and oh my gosh, unbelievable the amount of poverty and the what they have to live in. And all I can say is, there by the grace of God go I. I've heard that quote from one of my mentors. He said, there by the grace of God go I. What does that mean? It means, thank God that we are who we are. We're born to the parents we're born to, and we have the ability to be completely grateful. So what do I do when I walk around? I'm being grateful, and I am looking at things that are working. I am focusing on things that are great. Focusing, because what you focus on becomes more. It amplifies in your life. So I take those principles. And I use those principles, which are success principles, and I focus on that. Focus what's working, being grateful, being thankful, and connecting. And then guess what, man? I am ready to go. Actually, I drink this ridiculously awesome juice. I take 15 apples, I take 15 pears, roughly, and I take about 2 stalks of celery and spinach, and I juice it into this big thing of juice, and oh my gosh, it's so good. But talking about, you're wondering if I have energy, it's because guess what, man? You're putting good stuff in your bones. It's awesome. Anyways, so that's my routine for the morning. It's a kind of routine or ritual or things that you do. And I remember Tony Robbins said one thing. He goes, between a massive success and just mediocrity is a very, very small little things. All it is just these small routines that you do that separate you from everybody else. And guess what? Those are the routines that can turn around and make you successful. So spend the time developing a routine, a success routine that works for you. Then guess what? It's time to go to work. It's time to talk to sellers. It's time to figure out what's going on. Go on appointments. Comp deals. See if we got the bids accepted from the night before on the HUD deal. And start talking to sellers, and guess what? And start getting in the day and accomplishing the goals that we want to accomplish. Now, what are the most important money-making things? The next thing is, and I'm really working on my business on this because I tend to be a control where I want everything under control. I want I like to have my hands in everything because I want it done the way I wanted to have it done. Okay, and I have learning, and that is a flaw that I have to go out and become trusting in more people, bring on more people to help me accomplish bigger goals, and be able to do more and be more. So what I'm trying to say is this: is that make a list of all the tasks that you need to do or that you'd like to have done, that you can turn around and make short videos for. I use a Screen-O-Matic, screen-o-matic.com. Make short videos for, and then you can outsource that using either Odesk or to a local someone, to where you can focus on what's going to make you money and focus on things that don't make you money. So what are some of the things that make you money? Well, posting ads on Craigslist and Backpage, that won't really make you money. Inadvertently, it will, but guess what? That can be outsourced. Setting up mailing campaigns, that can be outsourced. Sending out emails to buyers and sellers, that can be outsourced. Those things can be outsourced. But guess what? Talking to motivated sellers, that's something that I want to do. That's something that I do. Now, I have all the calls come in. I have someone take the calls, they sort the calls, and they determine who's motivated and who's not, and then I talk to the motivated sellers. So if I get 100 calls come in and I get 4 that's motivated, I'm talking to those 4, but I don't have to take the time to go through all those 96 different calls that have come in. Okay, so talking to motivated sellers, that is a money-making thing. Talking with buyers, I like to talk to buyers because guess what? That buyer might not want that particular opportunity, but that buyer might not another opportunity. Okay, for an example, I think I said this in one last podcast, is I talked to this buyer that called in on a property and they asked about it, and they go, oh, this is really not going to work for us, but, maybe next time around. And I'm always asking, going, hey, well, what are you looking for? What are you trying to accomplish? Well, listen, we're looking for newer builds. We want tile roof. We want houses in this particular area. So you're saying if I get you at a price point here, if this there, and it's a tile roof, and it's built after, say, 2000, whatever, you'd be interested in buying it. And they go, yeah, we've been interested. So guess what I did? I turned around and went on HUD, homestore.com, and I started bidding on these homes. And so far, I've sold 2 homes, $10,000 profit apiece. And on those particular deals, if I didn't ask that question, I would have never known. That's why I like talking to buyers. If I talk to buyers, and guess what? Maybe one property doesn't work, maybe another property will work if I open up that question. Now, if I can help them accomplish their goals, they're going to continue coming back to me over and over and over again. So, setting up new marketing channels, that might be, a different way. Maybe, setting up your PPC campaigns or breaking in and setting up those automatic systems that you'll get leads coming in. And also bidding on HUD homes. I bid on my own HUD homes. I don't have that outsourced because I know what I'm looking for and I know where I want to be on the pricing and stuff like that. So I do that myself. I don't outsource that. So the bottom line is this: what you're doing is you're focusing on money making things that will work. Okay. So now, the other thing that we need to do is we need to have a clear cut. And we'll get into goals here. I'll do another episode right before the first of the year, right after the first of the year, just specific on goals. But when it comes to goal setting, let's say if our goal after we quit our job is we want to double our income. We make $100,000 or $125,000, but we now want to make $250,000 a year. How would you reverse? And I'm going to go through this real quick. How do you re-engineer or reverse that to where you know specifically what you can do on a daily basis to accomplish that goal? See, I've always, taken massive goals, okay, right? And then take that and then break it down into tasks that I can do every single day. So for an example, let's say you want to make $250,000 a year. Well, that would break down to $21,000 roughly a month. Now, let's say you average $5,000 per deal. Well, guess what? That means that you're going to need to do 4 deals a month. So you go, okay, well, listen, the average is for marketing, right? For every lead you get, it takes about 25. For every deal you get, it takes about 25 leads. So for every 25 leads, you get 1 deal. Roughly. Those are kind of roughly how the numbers work out. So for an example, if you get 25 leads, you can get 1 deal. If you get 100 leads, you could potentially get 4 deals. Okay? So you want to play the numbers. So then you go, okay, well, how do I get 100 leads in a month? Well, guess what? I've got to drop out over 1,000 mailers at the beginning of the month to turn around and get those 100 leads. Okay? Or you take 100, right? And you go, okay, I'm 100 and I'm going to divide that by, there's 4 weeks in a month. Well, guess what? I need to get 25 leads a week coming in that I can turn around and be able to get that deal. Okay, so that's when it comes to direct marketing or direct mail, because typically with the yellow letters we use and the postcards we use and stuff like that, you get about a 10% response rate. So if you send out 1,000 plus letters, you'll get roughly about 100 leads that come in. Now, what other can you do to just make sure? Well, guess what? You'll have your PPC advertising, pay-per-click advertising on Google, MSN, or Yahoo that will bring in leads. You also could bid on HUD homes each week. You could bid on homes. Maybe on every Thursday you bid on HUD homes to see if you can get some deals that way. But also, too, you could do bird dog deals, could be coming in. Putting up bandit signs consistently every single week could get some leads in. So it's a combination where you're looking to get those leads, but also you're looking to get those deals. So then you go say, listen, I need to do at least 4 $5,000 deals if I want to accomplish my $20,000 a month and accomplish my $240,000, $250,000 a year. Now, if you break that down into tasks, then guess what? It becomes easily accomplishable. You can easily accomplish that, and it's something you can wrap your head around and push forward and make it happen. So that is just a real simplification. Is that a word? Simplification. See, I'm going to tell you one thing real quick. You don't have to be brilliant to flip houses. I don't have a college education, and I have a high school education, but I do read a ton of books. So if simplification isn't a word, I apologize. But hey, this should give you the confidence that, guess what? You can blow by anything that I have ever done and accomplish more. So anyway, so the bottom line is this is a simple way to look at how you can do goals. We'll get into real strategic goal settings here at the beginning of the year. We'll kind of go through exactly what I do when it comes to mapping out goals, of really understanding your vision for you. Okay? Picturing yourself. How do you see yourself 5 years from now? How do you see yourself 10 years from now? We'll talk about how to put that into a document that you can have, and then breaking it down to where you can accomplish these goals into manageable tasks that you can do every single day to go out and accomplish your goal. Okay? So now, one last thing I want to talk to you about this is that the biggest reason that you're not going to make it. Okay, we are excited, we're motivated, I want to quit my job, I want to get a big check, I want the 4 phases of freedom, I want to do this full time, I want to do it. So I'm going to tell you right now the biggest reason why you're not going to be able to do it. Because, and I said in the beginning, is that when we get started, we set a goal and said, hey, I want to do it. And we might have an expectation that's going to be easy, or, hey, I just send out some letters, I take some calls from buyers, and then you realize that, holy cow, there's work involved. There is work involved. And 2 things are going to happen. Either it's going to go perfect for you. I'm going to get calls, I'm going to get leads, I'm going to get a big check. Oh my gosh, it's great. Or it's not going to go so perfect for you. You're going to get calls, you're going to get leads, you're going to try to bid on HUD homes, it's not going to work. And guess what? You are going to be faced with what's called frustration. You're going to be frustrated about something. And we tend to look at the outside. What's not, my market sucks. Or, I just don't have enough education. Or I tried this thing and it didn't work. See, no. It works. It works for hundreds of thousands of people all across the entire country. It works. The question is, you have to internalize it and go, listen, I've got a choice. I got to step up, right? And I'm gonna make this happen at all cost. You know what the real difference is between someone great and someone that fails? Is that someone great has thick skin. They have rhino skin. They will do whatever it takes at all costs to make it happen. And see, what I believe is that vision we talked about of going in and giving your 2-week notice to your boss, or quitting your job, or being done with that. It has to be emotional. It has to be vivid. It has to be at the forefront of your mind. Because when you hit an obstacle, because you will, you have to have something bigger than the obstacle that's going to drive you through that and find a way around it. See, I was in the Marine Corps, and we were taught obstacles. You don't stop at obstacles. You don't stop. You find a way over it, you find a way under it, you find a way around it, or you blow through it. That's it. That's your choices. There's no choice of quitting. You don't have a choice of quitting. Quitting is the biggest reason you will not make it to success. Quitting. So if you're a known quitter, and you've quit things before, I tried it, it didn't work. I tried it, it didn't work. Or you try this thing, and for 6 months it doesn't work. Try this for 2 months, it doesn't work. Make a decision today in 2012 that you're not going to be a quitter. You are going to focus on it. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how hard it is. Whether it be this or whether it be something else. Focus on it. Be clear about it. Get emotionally involved in it. Think about it before you go to bed. Think about it when the first thing you wake up. And when you hit that obstacle, guess what? You're going to have the fuel to blow through it. And that's what you need. The problem is people are weak. People have a weak passion, a weak goal, a weak vision. And when they hit an obstacle, you go, well, they blame everybody else and say, it doesn't work for me. Market sucks. No. Because guarantee if I go to your market, wherever you are, I guarantee I can flip houses in your market. Why? Because I'm relentless. I am relentless. When I set my vision on something, ask my wife. I mean, she like, my eyes roll in the back of my head, my eyes glaze over, and I'm just like, I'm like a steam rolling train to go out and make that vision happen with no mercy. I attack it at whatever angle I can, and I'll keep attacking it until I get it. And that's the difference between someone successful and someone that's not. And that's a learned trait. You're not born with it. Oh my gosh, I'm just born with, No, you're not. I didn't grow up. I mean, my dad made more than 40, most he made was like 40, 45,000 a year. My whole entire life I was told you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this because we can't afford it. Can't afford this, can't afford that. All my friends had great Christmas presents. My Christmases suck. All my friends would go down to Florida and they come back because I'm from Vermont originally. They'd always go down to the east coast, down to Florida down there. They come back all golden brown and tans. They go on cruises and stuff like that. Not me. I go to my grandmother's house. I get the top bunk and my brother get the bottom bunk. So I don't know if that was the drive. I don't know what it was. But the bottom line, that I was relentless pursuit. I still am today. I don't know, because I love it. It's just a relentless pursuit of success. Now, I have to share this clip with you because this clip spells it all out. And it spells it out because it talks about quitting. It talks about quitting and what it will do to you if you make that decision. Because I can tell you this, quitting is a decision. Moving forward is a decision. Making a decision that I'm going to do it at all cost, that's a decision. And guess who's in control of that decision? You. You're in control of that decision. You decide if you're going to cash in, I can't do it. You decide. So the ball is in your court. The ball's in your court. And we have consequences for our decisions. And you've got to listen to this clip because it talks about what that consequence could be for the decision of quitting.
Hey. What you doing here? Don't you have practice?
Not anymore. I quit.
Oh. Well, since when are you the quitting kind?
I don't know. I just don't see the point anymore.
So you didn't make the dress list. There are greater tragedies in the world.
I wanted to run out of that tunnel for my dad. To prove to everyone that I worked...
what?
That I was somebody.
Oh, you are so full of crap. You're 5 feet nothing. 100 and nothing. And you got hardly a speck of athletic ability. And you hung in with the best college football team in the land for 2 years. And you're also going to walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself. And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't going to never happen. Now go on back.
Sorry I never got you to see your first game in here.
Hell, I've seen too many games in this stadium.
I thought you said you never saw a game.
I've never seen a game from the stands.
You were a player?
I rode the bench for 2 years. Thought I wasn't being played because of my color. I got filled up with a lot of attitude. So I quit. Still not a week goes by, I don't regret it. And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you. You hear me clear enough?
So do you hear him clear enough? The pain of regret is way worse than the pain of blowing through an obstacle. The pain of regret is way worse than the pain of blowing through an obstacle. At least once you get through the obstacle, there's exhilaration on the other side. The pain of regret will live with you every day of your life. And see, you have what it takes. You don't have to be special. You don't have to be in a special market. You don't have to be a special person. You don't have to have a born with a silver spoon. You don't have to have that. You don't have to have great credit. You don't have to have a ton of money. You don't have to be good looking. You don't have to have it. You can do this if you give it a shot with everything you've got and you never, ever, ever, ever quit. A relentless pursuit for your goals, your passion, your dreams, your freedom. 2012 is going to be an exceptional year for some of you. 2012 is going to be another roller coaster for some others. It's decision time. You got to make a decision. Either A, your 2012 is going to be up and down, or B, you're going to be on a relentless path of success. And you're going to take charge of your life, and you're going to grab it by its collar, and it's going to submit to you. Real estate right now, in my belief, is the greatest opportunity you will ever see in this lifetime. Don't hit a roadblock and give up on your dreams. Because I can tell you this. You can live without water for a couple days. You can live without food for maybe 40 days. But you can't live a day without hope. Do you realize that? Hope gives you the ability to wake up. Hope is an opportunity. Hope that you can move forward. But hope is nothing. Doesn't amount to spit if you quit. So make a decision that you're going to find something, whether it be this or something else, and you're going to put everything you've got into everything you do, and you're never going to quit, and you are going to look at yourself at this time next year, and you're going to go, wow, I did it. I did it. It was a bitch, but I did it. I want that for you. Now, if you want more from me, go to the flip2freedom.com. Flip the number 2freedom.com. And over this holiday season, now, read through it. Study it. Go back and listen to the other 74, 75 different episodes I have out there that are free for you to devour and listen to. And what it's going to do is, first off, it's going to give you the hope that you can do it. Because there's some amazing stories of people that I've interviewed that are just like you. They're accomplishing phenomenal results. And it's also going to give you the education, so it will eliminate that foggy fear of going through it. And it'll also give you the confidence that you can make it happen. And that, guess what? That's the ball. That's everything. The ball now is in your court. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? You're not going up against anybody. You're not competing against anybody. Go out there and do the best you can. Give it everything you got. And when you hit a roadblock, sustain. Sustain it, go through it, and never quit. And you will reach the pinnacle of your success in this life. So until next week, I wish you ultimate success in your real estate investing career. Take care, and God bless.